Okay, so I just scrolled past the video, and a Chinese guy was talking about how his parents' business that they had for 25 years was destroyed by a drunk driver, right? So somebody was driving drunk and drove into the front of this business and just completely destroyed it, okay? And the first thing I want to say is, have you ever noticed how drunk drivers always destroy everything that belongs to everybody else, but they never destroy their own stuff? Like, whenever they cause a car accident, they kill everybody but themselves. Somehow they always survive. Like, that does not make any sense, right? But then also, I want to briefly comment on the fact that it's so messed up how you can do everything right, but somebody else can destroy your stuff for you. That's the worst thing about life, I swear to God, because it's like, even if you work hard and you do what's right, somebody else can take everything you have from you. It ain't even got to be due to your own bad actions or anything like that, right? But I want to comment on the fact that he said that his parents been living in the United States for 25 years and they still can't speak English, because that don't make no sense. And he's not the first person I've seen who said, like, his parents are immigrants and they've been living in, whatever country for 25, 30 years and somehow they still can't speak the language. And I just want to briefly touch on that. Again, this is not the only child of immigrants I've seen say this. And it don't just be Asian people saying this. I've seen Africans say this as well. They'll say, oh yeah, my parents have lived in the US or the UK or wherever for 20 years and they can't speak English, whatever. And they just brush right past it and just, oh yeah, that's normal. And I don't get how you even managed to do that. Like, I don't get that. I don't get that because don't get me wrong. I'm not an immigrant. I've never been an immigrant, but I've traveled around to different countries and stuff where I don't speak the language, and I'll only be there for a couple days, maybe a week or two. And I start picking up on certain things. I start to see, oh, this word is always above the bathrooms. Well, that must mean, the bathroom, right? Oh, this word is above the door. Maybe that means exit or something, right? Again, I don't be in these places as an immigrant. I be in these places as just a traveler, and I know that I'm not going to be here for long. I'm going back to my home country soon, right? But without even trying, I just pick up on certain things just because it's kind of like common sense assumptions damn near. Now, I'm not about to say that learning a language is that easy, of course, right? It's not. There's a whole other aspect to it besides just learning, vocabulary words, right? But I do feel like for you to live in a country for 20 plus years and not know how to speak the language, you must be making a conscious effort. Either that or you just dumb as hell, for real. A lot of people are going to comment under this like, well, the United States doesn't have an official language. And that's true, right? But the fact remains that all of the street signs are in English. When you're driving on the freeway and it says, oh, this exit is coming up in this many miles, keep to the left, keep to the right, whatever. If you're trying to get to this place, all of that is in English. The fact remains that when you go to the airport, all of the signs are in English. Oh, if you're trying to get to gates, yada, yada, yada. If you're trying to get to the restroom, it's this way, so and so and so. So we can sit here and, argue the semantics of it. Oh, there's not an official, language of the United States, so and so and so. But the fact remains that if you go into, any old store, if you go into a CVS or a Walmart or whatever, right? The cashier is going to be speaking English, and they probably not going to know how to speak whatever language you speak in because, again, we can argue the semantics. Oh, the United States has not declared an official language, but the reality is that everybody in this motherfucker speak English. English is the motherfucking language, okay? That's the reality. I'm just stating the facts. I feel like you really have to go out of your way to not learn the language of a country for 25 years, bro. Again, it'll be different if you was just traveling. Oh, I'm only going to be here a week. Of course, yeah, you're not going to learn much in a week, right? But you've been in a country for 25 years and you have not managed to figure out how to speak the language well enough to navigate society. You can't even read a street sign to know where you going or something. You either got to be, and maybe, some people are special needs or something. And of course, I'm not making fun of that or anything. But all of y'all motherfuckers ain't got nothing wrong with y'all. A lot of y'all is just a goofball. You're just goofy. Like, and then I just be confused because the kids be posting this stuff like it's not extremely goofball behavior. Like I said, the Chinese dude who posted this, he not the only child of immigrants I've ever seen say something like this. They say this stuff all the time. Oh yeah, my parents have lived so-and-so and they can't speak the language yet. How, Sway? How, Sway? That is top tier goofball behavior. That just makes no sense. Imagine I moved to Russia and my brightest idea is, yeah, I'm gonna just sit up in here for 25 years and not learn how to speak Russian. Is that not the dumbest thing you've ever heard in your life? And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that anybody needs to assimilate or anything like that. You know, the point that I'm making is not to forget your culture or anything like that. No, 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 no. But at the same time, you very, very goofball. You very, very goofball. Like, I remember I was working at a pharmacy. I was a pharmacy technician, right? And a woman came to pick up her prescription with her two very young children. Okay, this woman was clearly an immigrant. She couldn't speak English. Okay, her children were legitimately like 4 or 5 years old, right? So she comes to pick up her prescription. I can't explain to her anything about it because she can't speak English. So she got these little 4-year-old kids trying to read this medical document and listen to what I'm trying to say and explain it back to her. And I'm like, homegirl, at no point did you think maybe I should learn how to speak English? Like, like that might be a good idea. Now, at least in her case, her kids were very young, so maybe, she had just gotten here when she had the kids or something. I don't know. But at the same time, I feel like some of y'all, you know what? And maybe this is what it is. Because somebody commented recently under one of my videos where I mentioned something about what an Indian girl had said, right? And this person was like, well, a lot of times when people come to another country, they become extremely conservative in their cultures because, they're away from home. So they want to make sure they don't lose their traditions, right? So they become more conservative than even the people who live back in their homelands, right? And I'm thinking maybe y'all goofball asses think that learning how to speak English is going is going to take some tradition away from you or something. I don't know. But if you plan on living in a country for 25 years, there's no reason your dumb ass shouldn't be able to speak the language of that country after 25 years. And it's crazy to me because y'all talk all this crap about how Americans are so entitled. Oh, Americans go to other countries, expect the people to speak their language, so and so and so, yada, yada, yada. And don't get me wrong, that is true of white Americans. Don't get me wrong. I always tell y'all use American and white interchangeably. White Americans do have a tendency to go to other countries and expect the wait staff to speak English to them instead of, attempting to converse with them in their language, whatever, right? But at the same time, y'all do that same superior goofball shit your damn selves. You come to another country for 25 years, mind you, and manage not to learn how to speak the language. What type of dumb ass shit is that? And nobody told you, damn, bitch, you're stupid as fuck. Like, maybe you should try to learn the language of the place that you live in so that you can attempt to navigate this society. Like, I'm just so lost. If an American went to another country and lived there for 25 years and refused to learn the language, you all will be sitting there talking about how Americans are so self-centered and expect everybody to accommodate them and speak English and so and so and so and yada, yada, yada. But when y'all do that same dumbass shit, suddenly the rules don't apply to y'all. Like, what?